Hello and welcome back to another episode of the BNI Southeast Tennessee podcast. I'm here with Elaine Zambos, Director of BNI in Southeast Tennessee. Elaine, tell me about this law of attraction.
Law of attraction is when you put something out into the universe that it comes back to you.
Yeah.
So for instance, when a lady finds out that she's expecting, everybody she sees is pregnant because that's first and foremost on her mind. Or, you know, when I bought my new truck, I'm like, this is the coolest truck. And I've never seen another truck like it on the road. And lo and behold, if another one doesn't just show up and down the road all the time. And that's because we're thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how the law of attraction works. Those things that we think about manifest. So what does the law of attraction and networking have to do with each other, right?
Tell me.
Basically everything. Because we can't do life by ourselves. We got to have people to do life with, right? To make things happen. And so the more people that we tell what our goals are or what we want to do, we manifest that, right? And we make it happen. So just by sharing our goals, because people want to help people.
Yeah.
We just do. We just naturally want to help one another. I mean, if we walk out of this building right now and we see somebody fall down, we're immediately going to run over and try to help them up.
Yeah.
Right? And nobody told us to do that. That's how we are made. So that's how law of attraction works. But I can't help you, Michael, if you don't tell me what you want. And so when we're out and we're networking and we're meeting people, you know, it's okay to share with people what we want. Super cool thing happened a few years ago. I was at a BNI chapter meeting, and at the meeting, the speaker said, these are the things that I want. I want to be the preferred vendor for 10 manufacturing companies. Currently, our company is a preferred vendor for 5, but my goal this year is to be a preferred vendor for 10. And I thought to myself, wow, that's really pretty cool. Like, she's telling us that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm on a 6-week rotation when I go visit different chapters. 6 weeks later, I show up at that chapter and I asked her, I said, hey, how are you doing with your vendor? And she's like, oh my gosh, ever since I asked for 5 more vendors, she goes, we got them. She goes, we're the preferred vendor now for 10. But she wouldn't have been if she wouldn't have shared that with others. Right. And so to me, law of attraction and networking just go hand in hand. We can never get what we want in life if we don't tell people what it is we want.
Absolutely.
I had an epic one on my list was to go to Tahiti, right? Like, who wouldn't want to go to Tahiti, right? And I'd share with different people, like, hey, what do you want to do? I'm like, hey, I'd love to travel to Tahiti or wherever, right?
Yeah.
I got a phone call one day and a friend of mine called and she said, hey, Elaine, you're not going to believe this. We got a sailboat. And we're going to sail to Tahiti. Would you want to go?
You got to go to Tahiti.
I did.
That's great.
Yeah, but it was because of law of attraction.
You put it out there.
I put it out there.
You put it out there and you got what you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, when I say, you know, like networking, it doesn't necessarily have to be networking with a great big bunch of people. Networking is networking with your own tribe.
Yeah.
Like your own people, right? We all have our people.
That's true. If you strengthen the connections in a small group, that's still it.
And they still need to know, but some of them don't know what you want.
Right.
And if you don't know what you want, then you'll never get it.
Right.
So always look at it like this. If we were to leave this building and Aladdin's lantern is sitting on the sidewalk and I get to rub it and the genie pops out and she says, Elaine, you got 3 wishes. Boom. I got it. 1, 2, 3.
Done.
I know. And other people might be looking at it going, what do I want?
Wish for more wishes.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's one of the things that I love about being a member of BNI is that if you get to know people and you get to know that small group over the course of time, you get to learn what people are looking for, what is something that, you know, under the surface, you might not realize is actually a big deal to that person, right? Because you get to know them over time. And I think that's something that's really valuable about being in a BNI chapter, showing up regularly. All of those things are really important.
Absolutely. Yeah. But then again, like I said, like just within your own tribe. So I was at a backyard barbecue. This has been a few years ago. And while I'm there, I meet this lady. She's super cool. We're chatting. And I'm like, so what do you like to do when you're not at work? And she said she likes to hike. I go, oh, man, that's my jam. Love to hike. Let me give you my phone number. If you ever want a hiking partner, call me. Well, she did. So we're out at Stringer's Ridge. And I said, so tell me, what's been your most epic hike? And she said that she'd hiked to Machu Picchu. And I'm like, get out. I said, I've wanted to go to Machu Picchu since I was 12 years old and wearing braces. Like I saw it in a National Geographic. I'm like, I'm going there one day.
Wow.
I said, tell me everything and don't leave out any details. So she tells me all about it. And she had gone with her sister. After she finished her story, I said, so tell me, after Machu Picchu, what's next? She goes, I'm going to go to Everest Base Camp. I'm like, get out. I said, that's on my list too. I said, is your sister going to go with you? And she goes, no, she thinks it's too dangerous, so I'll probably just have to go by myself. I'm like, no, I'll go. So yeah,
that's how you found
That's how I found, yeah. Again, but it was through networking, right? Like sharing with each other what it is you like. I mean, it started with just a hike, but if somebody likes to hike, like they've got their favorites. Yeah. And you just keep, Yeah. So law of attraction and networking go hand in hand.
That's so cool. Well, this has been a great episode of the BNI Southeast Tennessee podcast. Elaine, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.